And I'm getting things set up. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I know the fan is loud, but I need it. I am actually prepping for my Iron Boost soup. So let me get it. Alright, so this is chicken that I baked a couple days ago. I'm gonna take one of those pieces and get it started in the pot. And then I'm going to make the mirepoix, which is the onion, celery, and carrot. And then I've got this pasta, ratatouille. Purple flour, good to see you, my love. So give me a second to get the chicken out of the pan, and then I'll get started on the prep. Alright, so hold on, I'm gonna pull the phone down so you guys can see it. Give me a second. Okay, so, why is it? Okay, I need you not to do that. Thank you. Okay, so this is some baked chicken thighs that I made a couple days ago. Hey, Purple Flower. Hey, Cody. Hey, MJE. Yeah, you guys like the video coming in. So I baked off chicken a couple days ago, and I made fresh beets and sweet potatoes. So again, chef on the budget, eat your way healthy. I'm showing you how you can get more than one meal out of, turn the volume up because I have to have the fan on to get the steam out. But showing you how to get more than one meal out of one set of ingredients. So I've got fresh celery that I'm gonna clean off. I've got red onion, and then fresh carrot. And for those who may not know, that's actually what's called a mirepoix. So that's what you use any stock soup, stock sauces in every restaurant I've worked in and trained and managed. That's what is called a mirepoix. That's your foundation. Sets the tone for your food. And then I decided to use ratatouille noodles instead of egg noodles because I just like to be different. And then of course you guys know the purified drinking water for all of my prep because I do not use tap water. So what I'm gonna do is put one of these whole entire chicken thighs, probably this one, into the pot so it can start simmering. And I'm gonna scoop out the natural broth that the chicken made. So you don't need to buy like additional broth that has a lot of sodium. All you need to do is just cook your chicken in the oven, roast it off, and add a little bit of water. It'll produce its own broth. So I'm gonna literally use the broth from the chicken that I baked as the foundation basis for the soup. So give me a second so I can get it in the pot, and then I'll be back. So again, you can see the broth. And I'm probably gonna add some more bay leaves to it as well so that it can get that extra flavor while it's roasting. I'm on live. I'll talk to you in a minute. I'm on live right now. I'll talk to you a little bit. Okay, so the chicken, let me show you real quick. So the chicken, you can put like the whole piece in there and let it start simmering while you're doing your prep. What I would recommend is always add water while it's simmering. That way it helps it to break down more. And then you can get the full flavor going in. Chelsea, thank you for tuning in, my love. I'm tired as hell, but I'm good. Y'all know the kitchen is my therapy. So yeah. Okay. So because I'm a chef, I don't measure things, but you want to at least fill your pot at least halfway full. I would definitely try to cover it, but it's a pretty big piece. I didn't realize how big the thigh was, but it'll break down. So I'm gonna let that simmer, and then while it's simmering is when you do your actual prep. Okay, you guys let me know. Okay, hopefully you guys can see, and it really doesn't take long. All I'm gonna do is just slice up. I'm gonna do the carrot first because carrot does take longer to boil. Actually, no, I'm not. I just remember that because the carrot will actually stain my cutting board. So what I'll do first is clean off the celery, and then I'm gonna slice it up. Okay, so this celery, unfortunately, is already trying to go old. So I'm gonna do, I like a lot of celery. Like a lot of people use celery salt in their food. Just use the actual celery so you can get the health benefits. And if you want the extra flavor, just use a lot. So I'm honestly gonna go ahead and use a lesson learned. If the celery, and I know it's a little dark over here, if the celery is already kind of pale, I wouldn't recommend using it. So I feel like these 4 should be enough. And, but y'all know I have OCD. I don't want to dirty my cutting board until I actually clean these off. And then you guys know how I do. So the key to clean vegetables is not rinsing them off. The key to clean vegetables is cleaning them. So I'm literally showing you. You're gonna take your paper towels, douse them in, and I don't use any tap water for my prep ever. Tap water is very unhealthy and contains a whole lot of bullshit. So I literally drench them in the water. And then I take each individual paper towel and actually clean them because celery does grow in the ground. It is full of parasites, you guys. The what do they call it? Fertilizer. It has a lot of chemicals in it. And then I do always wipe my cutting board down, even though I know I just cleaned it. I still do. One thing you would definitely learn watching me is sanitation, for sure. All right, so when you clean celery, the proper way to do it is to start at the very top. Always take off the heads of the celery because they contain a lot of bacteria. I usually don't use them, especially if they're going brown. So start at the top. Let me pull it back. Start at the very top with your clean paper towel. Again, rinsing doesn't do anything. I'm gonna be honest, you guys, all it does is it activates bacteria. So you need to literally clean it. And I'm gonna try to get inside this groove because sometimes dirt does dwell in there. You wanna actually clean it thoroughly. It was crazy when I took sanitation, what I learned about bacteria on food. You would be surprised how much bacteria is on vegetables. And they do spray the fertilizer with a shit ton of chemicals. And as you can see, when I place it on my cutting board, I don't allow the ends that contain the dirt to actually touch my cutting board. So I'm always going to teach you guys sanitation as I'm actually prepping and cooking. This is what I've done in so many restaurants for years. Okay, so yeah, do not use the tips. The tips are typically, like you can use the celery hair, and I'll look and see if any of the celery hair is okay. I will use that. Again, you can use that in place of celery salt and celery seed. Get the actual vegetable. And since some of it is okay, I am going to use it. So, like, don't use the yellow parts. That will actually trigger acid reflux, believe it or not. And that is something I deal with. So, I'm going to take the leaves that I don't see any sort of wilting or brown on. The ones that are starting to turn yellow, I'm not going to use. I feel like one more. Because again, that is what you use in place of celery salt and celery seed. And then you actually get the health benefits. And again, paper towel, clean it down. You said hit it with red wine. I don't use red wine vinegar, not in my soups. Now, if I was making a vinaigrette, absolutely, but it can make it very tart and very bitter, and you don't want that sort of a taste when it comes to a soup. Now, if I had white wine, yes, but vinegar, no. All right, so what I'm gonna do is slice off the ends, but not on my cutting board. Toss them, do not use them. They're full of bacteria. All right, now I'm gonna show you guys what a water cut is. A water cut is a certain way that you cut the celery. I learned this when I worked at P.F. Chang's. It's basically like a diagonal cut. It's for texture. Actually, it's not just for looks. It's actually for the texture that you want. Because I don't like slicing them when they're small, because what happens is this breaks down and you lose the flavor and the health benefits. So, however you choose to slice your celery is up to you. I choose to line them up because in the restaurants that's what we do, and it makes the prep faster. Let me readjust the camera. I should have brought my ring light in here. It's okay though. It's not going to take long to do this. And again, it's for texture and flavor. Okay. And then I'm just going to do a quick rough chop on the celery here. And boom. Done. Quick. Again, chef on a budget does not require a whole lot. You just have to be willing to put about, 20, maybe 30 minutes of your prep. Instead of buying soup, you can make it, and it's cheap. I think the celery, I have to look at my receipt from when I did my grocery delivery order, but I think the celery is like less than $2. I know the carrots were like 95 cents. And the red onion was, I think, like 60 cents. So again, chef on a budget is showing you how to cook like a chef on a budget, and it's going to taste well. So that's why I also add the Eat Your Way Healthy. So those are done. Now let me, I don't like to bury up a lot of dishes. I will take advantage of the paper. So the reason I'm going to do the carrot next is because I want to get the carrot in the pot right now. With the carrots, what I do is I shave them and then I clean them. So, oh shit, you guys can't see the carrots. Hold on, pull it back. Not a ton of space, but y'all know I can work with whatever I got. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see it. I'm actually gonna go grab wax paper. Give me a second. So I forgot to track that. I think I'm going to use at least 3 of these, maybe 4. And I can say, you know what, I'll just shake them all. That way they're done. Because I can use the rest for salad. Just thought about that. Now, shaving the carrot is super easy. And me personally, I don't like huge chunks of carrot in my food. I know some people make them that way. My Hispanic homegirl from back home, her mom makes chicken soup that way. They'll put like the whole piece. And it's good, but it makes it hard to eat. So, again, hold on. I'm trying to make sure you guys can actually see what I'm doing. You can just shave. And then what I'll end up doing is after I shave it, you know, you get all the, make sure you get everything off so it's completely clean. And I'm still gonna wipe them down because this part of the carrot is what grows in the ground and it can contain parasites. So again, I want, for the biggest thing I want you guys to learn beyond just the chef on a budget part is the sanitation part, because a lot of people don't realize that the way they prep food has everything to do with when a person gets sick from their food. Like if a person gets a foodborne illness, 9 times out of 10 it's because of how that food's been prepped incorrectly. A lot of people are real lazy when it comes to vegetable prep. I know from all the people I've trained in restaurants, they'll just like I literally saw that. I remember I had a new hire that I put on mushrooms because at Longhorn we had to prep cases of mushrooms every day, you know, for specific steaks that came with mushrooms and onions, or if a customer ordered an extra side of mushrooms and onions. And they just pulled down like the whole box of mushrooms and just started slicing them. I'm like, bro, you did not even clean those. Like mushroom is literally fungus and it grows in the ground. You need to actually clean them. And a lot of people don't. So if you end up making something and you don't properly clean it or prepare it, you might end up with a foodborne illness. And if you will know that you have a foodborne illness because you'll start experiencing those symptoms within 4 to 6 hours after you've eaten. Now, another lesson, this part of the carrot's going bad, we're not using it, toss that shit out. When in doubt, toss it out, literally. All right, so I am going to try to wipe this down. All right, and that's it on that. Now, you just want to quickly just wipe it down. That way, if any sort of bacteria from shaving it got onto it, it's clean. And another thing, it doesn't really take much or long to be sanitary. This is something I definitely taught in the restaurants. And the reason why my trainees love me is because once I showed you how to do it, I'm just gonna leave you to do your work. Like I'm not gonna stand over you. But if I happen to walk in the kitchen and I see you cross-contaminating, I'm gonna take that as a teachable moment to teach you the proper way to do it. So that's how I've always trained, just the proper way. And as long as people do it the proper way, we're all good. Now, for those who might want to know why I put wax paper on my cutting board, it's because the carrot stain. So I still need to prep the onion. So this is also an easier way to just make sure that any of the actual parts that you shave end up on the wax paper. It's easy to transfer into the pot. Now, the key when you are shaving carrots, make sure that you do not get any part of the root, like the part that is the root. Do not shave that at all. And once you get down to the core, you're good. Another secret for those who are pastry chefs like me, because I'm pastry and savory. If you keep the tips of your carrots and freeze them, you can use this as the foundation for carrot cake. So, like, you could literally chop off the root, save the core, freeze it, thaw it out, and then toss that into your cake batter for carrot cake. But since I'm not making that, I'm gonna just toss it out. And for those who also don't know, this is also how you create carrot ribbons, because you guys know I grew up with my mom's event catering business and I have my own event catering business. And as my health improves, I do plan to start doing caterings, but right now things have been challenging with my GI condition. By the way, for any of those who would like to donate to my channel, do send it to my Cash App or Venmo. Now, same thing, very easy. You just hold the core, turn it in a circle, shave it. And the reason I'm shaving this much is because I do have some kale left. So whatever I don't use in the soup, I can still use for my salad. And it's easy. Like in all the restaurants I've worked in where we sold salads as an entree, this is always how we prepped it every morning. Because the grating is good, but grated carrots can get stuck in your teeth. So, especially for like elderly customers, they didn't like the grated carrots in their salads. So I just naturally shave them. Toss out the core. Make sure you don't have any big gigantic chunks like this in there. Now, because I am going to be using this for soup, I'll give these just a couple of quick rough chops. But if I was using it just for salad, I would leave them as ribbons. Because I personally like, when the little ribbon swirls around your fork. And then if I was doing a plating presentation, you can do designs with carrot ribbons. All right, so quick and easy, done. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss these in to get flavor. And the celery, me personally, for my soup, I like it al dente. So I don't like to have the celery mushy for my soup. So I tend to add the celery last. And then the rest of this can go for my kale salad. So technically, now we're up to 3 different meals. So again, chef on the budget, you can literally buy one set of ingredients and I can show you how to get at least 3 to 4 meals out of those ingredients, and it doesn't cost a lot and it's healthy. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the celery. And the reason I added it is because it's starting to simmer. And I do want the celery here. What I might end up doing, I might end up just like pulling them out after it starts to simmer, just so that they're not super mushy, but I do also want the flavor of the celery. So the red onion, and this is the last ingredient. Now, the ratatouille, I'm definitely going to add this when it's about halfway done simmering, because I don't like mushy pasta in my chicken noodle soup. That's also why I tend not to order that if I, go to a restaurant. But what is crazy is that Kroger has this deli brand chicken noodle soup, And it's actually really good. Like it almost tastes homemade. And I had a taste for it, but I was like, I don't really want to have to do a whole nother grocery delivery order. And so the other day, after I made that chicken, I was like, let me just get some onion, celery, and carrot. Real easy soup, real cheap. And those noodles were 99 cents too. So, I mean, this is a meal that's less than $10. And it'll last you a few days, you know. Now, when it comes to onions, I do peel down to at least 3 layers to make sure there are no levels of parasites from what it ruined. Let me switch my gloves, actually. And again, these ingredients are called a mirepoix. Carrot, celery, onion. That's always going to be your foundation for any sort of a soup. Make sure you guys can see. I'm going to do like, not half, but just a little under a half. Because red onion is very strong. Another lesson. What causes your eyes to tear, as well as have acid reflux, is the core. I don't know why this is not focusing. I'm not even moving the phone. Focus. So, see these little tiny green, I call them seeds. You want to actually take a paring knife and you want to actually cut that out. Now, because I've prepped for so many years, my eyes are literally immune to tearing up from onion gas. But this is actually what causes the gas and acid reflux. So, I just dropped on the floor accidentally. But remove it and then, okay, I'm not even trying to be funny, but this shit look like a whole goddamn vagina. This is crazy. What the hell? That looks like a labia. Oh my God. Yeah, milky. But they usually are. Red onion does contain a little bit of onion milk. Is it me, family? Now, y'all know I'm open about my sexuality. I like women too. But as soon as I said, if this don't look like a goddamn vagina. Oh my God. That is hilarious. I'm glad you see it too, Cody. All right, and then cut off your core. So I don't like putting just the raw onion in the trash because it does cause it to smell really strong. So y'all know I'm with the OCD. That looked like a whole entire vagina. That shit is hilarious. I don't know if it's just because I'm celibate, but that was the first thing I seen. I was like, really? And I ain't gonna hold y'all. It's been a minute. Kind of want to get me low-key a girlfriend, but I don't know. Relationships, I don't know if I even want to go with that right now. But yeah, this looked like some lips. Oh my God. So I'm just gonna cut along the ridges. Now again, when it comes to slicing, the size of your slices, there's a purpose. If you keep your slices thick, you're doing that for texture. In the restaurants, we would only mince onion if we were putting it inside of a sauce or making like a house-made aioli. Sometimes, we might put onion in that. House-made dressing, vinaigrette, or even just like a basic sauce, like a mother sauce. But because I want the texture, I'm gonna leave it wide. And to be honest, that's actually not enough onion because I want the real flavor. So I'm gonna slice just a little bit more. And see, luckily I don't have to remove any of the bulb. That's actually what it is called, the bulb of the onion. And that's it. So I'm gonna add it to the pot, and I'm gonna bring the phone down so you guys can actually see the pot. And that is that. After that, all that's left is making sure it simmers well. And about halfway through, when basically for me, when I start seeing the leg of that thigh coming off, that's when what I'll do is I'll pull the chicken out and then I'll actually hand shred the chicken. So I might even just do that now actually, because it's been in there for a little bit. Let me go grab some baggies because I need a baggie for that onion. Hold on, you guys. All right, so again, you guys know how I am with the OCD. It is real with me. Plus, I just hate that like strong smell. Like, I've lived in environments before where I would have to wake up every morning to smelling fucking fried onions and plantains. And I hate when a person preps and they put raw onion in the refrigerator and then it makes everything in the refrigerator smell like onion. Oh, it drives me nuts. So I always date label. And the purpose of date labeling, as I've taught in every kitchen, is because everything has an expiration date. Vegetables are considered ready-to-eat foods in restaurants. Ready-to-eat foods have a 5-day shelf life. Like maximum 5-day shelf life, unless it is like a sauce, a vinaigrette, a ranch, something like that. So onions, I would say you could properly keep a raw onion, especially if it is backed up to a week, but I wouldn't go past a week, just me personally. All right, so with these carrots, I want to leave them in the wax paper, but I don't because they'll start to seep through. And then I don't want any of the actual, like I don't want any residual wax onto the food. Fun fact for those who eat ramen noodles, those noodles are coated with actual wax from a candle. It's one of the unhealthiest things to eat. That's why it's so cheap. So just FYI, if you eat ramen noodles, they do cover those with melted wax, for sure. Wait, Chelsea said it looked like one too. I'm just now seeing y'all's comments. You know what, Cody? You saying the onion looks milky has me cracking up. Oh, Charlie laughing. I'm so see I have individual holders for each veggie. See, okay, like for real. You know, I'm so glad I'm not the only one, for real. But also, it's just pretty. You know, the carrot ribbons. So these I'll put on my kale salad probably tomorrow. Okay, so I'm done with that. I do need to keep it for the chicken, and that's gonna go a little bit kind of everywhere. So I'm gonna move this stuff out the way in case that broth. And you guys know I do line the countertop with plastic wrap, and the purpose of that is to protect it, as well as it makes for very, very easy cleanup. So let me go show you guys the beautifulness. Oh, I like that. Very pretty. I'm trying to take a screenshot without, damn it, my fingers in the camera. Hold on. And it actually already smells really good. But I think I'm gonna go get some more bay leaves. So, yeah, I'm gonna go grab some bay leaves real quick. Oh, and just to give you guys a close-up, that is what the ratatouille looks like. It's just different. And this will last me at least 3 meals, okay? Yeah, like I just look, don't that picture look good, dog? I think I'm gonna have to make that with some turkey, ground turkey. Yeah, that is what I'll make. So with the rest of these noodles, I can make ground turkey meatballs and pasta. All right, so y'all give me a second. I need to go grab some. Wait, what the hell? No, what are you doing? Go back. I need to go grab a couple of more baggies and I like large ones for that other piece of chicken. So now we officially have 4 meals because I forgot I had that whole other thigh. And I can still eat that with the sweet potatoes and the fresh beets. I am going to have a side of fresh beets in addition to the soup. So we got 4 meals now. The first one was the roasted chicken. Now we got soup. Then we're going to have another meal. I can make chicken salad with the other one that's left. So again, y'all give me a quick second. I'll be right back. Plus, I forgot to add my seasonings. And because I'm gonna let the chicken simmer, but I do, quality check the flavor as I go. So again, with the OCD, y'all know I got it. I keep everything in storage bags. But I would say for a pot that size, it depends on the size of the bay leaves. If they're large bay leaves, I would say like 3. Maximum 4, but about 3. Now there is bay leaves attached to that piece of chicken from when I baked it. Because when I bake it, I line the baking. Matter of fact, let me just show y'all. I line the baking pan. And I know it gets louder by the fan, but I need it, y'all. So give me a second. Okay. So I line the parchment paper with the bay leaves first. Like I put the bay leaves down. And then I season the chicken in another storage bag and then bake it off. So again, I could end up making a chicken salad with this. I probably will make chicken salad with this. And it can be like chicken salad that requires, like for me, I don't use mayo. I use ranch. So if I were to make like mixed chicken salad, that would be what it is. But if it's just like chicken for, just like regular, like grilled chicken salad on top of kale, then, it's different. Oh, hold on. So, let me see. I gotta get some more clothes. Yeah, I didn't know my clothes were that way. Okay, I feel like 4 is enough. Because I want to enhance the flavor, but with bay leaves, you just want to make sure you have balance, basically. And with bay leaves, never consume them. Consume them. Like use them for flavor, but don't ever eat them because they can be poisonous. Alright, so I think what I'm gonna do now, one is definitely move some stuff. I'm going to pull the chicken out since it's getting a good simmer. That way I can pull the actual meat off the bone. And that, that's so that you don't end up accidentally, eating the bone. Because believe it or not, when people do make the chicken soup like that, where they don't take the time and they just kind of leave it on the bone, it can be a choking hazard. And again, I'm always thinking from that restaurant perspective and, what you could potentially be liable for by just people honestly just being lazy. And like I told y'all, it's falling off the bone. I figured it was ready. Actually think about it. I should have put my hot gloves on. I think I will. Give me a second, you guys. I'm gonna have to go grab some more. Let me see. I might have some gloves in my pocket. And also, if I had ingredients to make like enchiladas, I could use that other thigh for that. Now, the reason I'm going to wait to season the soup is I want to see how the actual chicken itself flavors it naturally. I usually don't start adding seasoning until it's simmered for at least 20 minutes or so. That way all the flavors can marry, which is just a culinary term for incorporate. Because what you never want to do is add your seasoning too soon, because that's what causes food to come out over seasoned. All right, so these are cut gloves. They're also hot gloves. It enables you to be able to pick up something hot without burning yourself. And you do always want to make sure you put the vinyl over it. Otherwise, these are cloth, it'll soak through. Now, I just want the flavor of the skin, but I don't want all the cartilage from the bone. Also, just so you guys know, bones are what actually creates broth. Now, because I do want this bone to continue to flavor the soup, I am going to toss the actual bone back in there. But like all the extra, the parts that you're actually not supposed to consume, do discard those. But if you ever want to just make a broth, let's say you bake a whole chicken, instead of throwing away the carcass, put the carcass in the freezer. And when you get ready to make your soup, put the whole entire carcass in the pot and let it simmer down. That's what creates chicken broth, like from scratch. That's how we've done it in all the restaurants I've worked in. All right, so and I'm really glad I got these. I got these from Fiesta. They have really good prices on all of their groceries, but especially like their chicken and their produce, and it tends to last longer. I got, what was it, four? Yeah, four, no, three of these. Three of these gigantic chicken leg quarters. And it produces a lot of meat, and it doesn't cost a lot. So this is the thing. See, like these type of little bones, this is what you want to make sure you're pulling out. That's why it's good to actually shred your chicken. That way you can make, make sure there are no parts in here that could be hazardous, a choking hazard basically. And then I do like the skin, but I don't like the extra fat. So that part I will discard. I know that it can flavor it, but I don't like, I don't want to eat the actual fat is what I'm saying. All right, and then like pieces like this, make sure you toss that out. Do not consume that. Okay, see like these parts, me personally, I don't like the ones where I can see the dried up blood, so I will not keep that to consume. I'm gonna keep the skin for the flavor. But any like veiny parts, I don't like to consume that. So I do toss those out. Now, this part of the bone could actually still flavor the soup because of what's on it. I'm gonna put this back to flavor the soup, but when it's done, I'm gonna pull it out and not actually consume it. And the reason I don't use the back part of the thigh for the soup is because there's so many tiny bones in it. Those could end up boiling off. And like I've actually swallowed these little tiny things before, and it's not good for your digestive system. So this part I will discard. But again, if you were wanting to make, like, say for instance, you knew you were going to make another soup, it doesn't have to be chicken noodle, just whatever other kind of soup, and you need chicken broth, you could still save this in the freezer and pull it back out and use it for chicken broth. But I typically only reuse proteins one time. Like once it's been warmed up, you're actually not supposed to refreeze it because that can also cause bacteria and pathogens to grow. And then I don't want gigantic pieces of chicken, but I don't want it to be shredded either. So I'm just doing a quick, just rough chop. But it produces quite a bit of meat, So again, chef on a budget. Eat your way healthy. It does not have to take a lot, and it doesn't have to cost a lot. Make sure, oh shit, I'm gonna drop it. I just want to make sure there was no fatty pieces on there. because the fat on the bones will definitely give it flavor. But the key is to eat your way healthy. So eating the fat is something I try to avoid. Even when I eat fried chicken, which is not often. But when I do, if I see a gigantic piece of fat, I just can't consume that. Let me look at the comments. Making you hungry. Yeah, I wanted to cook early because like I said, I'm really tired. I'm debating if I'm gonna go live later. I might just rest because I'm actually very tired. I've not been getting the rest that I need, and I got a lot to get done tomorrow. But if I do go live, it'll probably be earlier in the evening and not as long. All right, let me go ahead and add the chicken to the soup and I'll grab the phone. I just want to show you guys how much, look at all that, just from one leg quarter. I'm actually going to leave that. Y'all know I like to clean as I go. Go ahead and toss that out. All right, I'm going to go bring the camera over so I can show you guys the pot. And then I'm going to jump off, clean up, let this simmer. And then when it's all the way done, I'll come back and show you, the finished product. I kind of want to add one of the sweet potatoes just to see how it flavors it. So I'm going to taste it real quick to see if I need to add anything while it simmers. Hold on, let me see. It needs a little bit of action. Alright, so it's good, but it is pretty bland because I'm forgetting I added all that water. So I'm going to add a little bit of Tony Chachery. I love Tony Chachery. Garlic powder. I do not use garlic salt. Family, if you are using garlic salt or onion salt, please cut that out of your diet. Seasonings that have additional salt are the leading cause of hypertension and hyperlipidemia. And you guys know that runs rampant in our race, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. And it also can trigger diabetes, like your blood sugar to be off. So use powders and then use natural flavorings like I just did with the onion. That's why I added extra red onion because I'm out of onion powder. Then I added the celery hair in place of celery salt. So I'm going to add a little bit of Italian seasoning, some garlic powder, a little bit of chachery, and then I'm going to taste it. And what you want to do when you season, taste it as you go. That way you can make for sure okay, does it need a little extra or is it a little too much? Like when I tell you I have ruined so many meals by not doing that. The last time I made chili, I was mad as hell too. I spent all that money on the ingredients and I had to throw the whole pot out because I over seasoned it. So opt for powders. It actually tastes better, it's healthier, and it does not have any sort of negative impact on your health. Now with Tony Chachery, of course, it's a Creole season, so this already has sodium, so use it sparingly. Like literally, because a little goes a long way with Tony Chachery. Like it's very strong, so do not over season. Like I use, and I like sprinkle it. I don't even pour it in there because it can be too much. So you want balance. You want it to taste good, but not be, overly salty, basically. Okay, so let me take y'all back over there so I can show you like this. Okay. So then again, like I can already smell the difference, but it doesn't smell overwhelming. So yeah, the bones, I'm smelling how they are intensifying the flavor of the broth. And it's getting a good simmer. So give me a second. So at this point now it's good to go. You're gonna let it simmer at least 20 minutes. Again, when it comes to making soup, it's always a taste as you go. And it's up to you how you want your soup. Like me, I like my veggies al dente. I don't like them real soggy. So it's not gonna need to simmer a long time for me. But some people might want their vegetables more like overcooked. So it's really up to each individual person as far as how long like some people ask me, well, how long should you let it simmer? As long as you feel like the flavor's cool. And then when it's close to done, like when you're ready to turn it off from simmering and just let it steep, that's when you can add the pasta. That way the pasta doesn't come out overly soggy. So just little, secrets as far as cooking. So for now, I'm gonna leave these out because in case I need to add a little bit more of this, I don't want to have to pull it back out. Which again, y'all know I like to clean as I go. So give me a second. Actually, this is all good. Because really, I'm pretty much done with the prep. What I'll do is once I get ready to add the pasta, then I'll show you guys that process. Really, I'm gonna give you guys a hack, okay? You said, no, I haven't added the noodles yet. So I'm gonna add the noodles when I get ready to cut it off because it's still going to boil and it's still going to simmer even when you turn the burner off. Because I want my noodles to be al dente because I know that I'm gonna end up reheating up the soup because there's gonna be enough for more than just today. So that's the key. Like if you make your soup, add your noodles last. That way when you go to reheat them, because if they cook too much, they're going to expand a lot and they're going to end up absorbing all the broth and you won't really have a soup. So don't add the noodles too soon because all it'll do is just make them overcooked. So I'm going to jump off. I'm going to clean up. By the time I get done cleaning up, it should be about time to put the noodles in and I'll come back.